Hey besties, welcome back to my channel. You can already tell by the title that today we are talking about Don't Look Up. Why did y'all make me watch this? Like every single one of y'all, from Twitter to YouTube to Instagram, like all of my comments everywhere, just watch Don't Look Up, watch Don't Look Up. In my DMs, bestie. If y'all were really my besties, you would have let this movie rot, okay? Y'all, it's, so you know I'm not even being dramatic. It is 2:28 in the morning. I have been watching this movie for 2 days. 2 days. I started it yesterday in the middle of the day. Fell asleep 3 times. Barely got 35 minutes in and fell asleep 3 different times. Then, as I was watching it, I posted to my Instagram story and was like this movie is giving me bad vibes, you guys. Like, I'm not watching this anymore. Like, I can't do this. Like, a few people wrote back and was like, oh, like, yeah, it is giving me bad vibes too. But then some people was like, no, you're bugging out. This movie was funny. I'm like, I can't deal with y'all right now because I'm feeling sick. Like, I was literally feeling like a headache, like nauseous, like my chest was beating fast. Like, I was like, what is going on? Like, I don't like this movie. And it's not even one of those movies. Like, it's like literally supposed to be funny. So like, why is it making me feel this way, right? I get about an hour in and then I realized that there was still like an hour and a half left, and I was like, nah, y'all lost me. I turned it off. And I got on Instagram today and everybody was like, please give it another chance. So what do? I gave it another chance, and it's clearly taking me all day. It's the fact that they tried so hard to push this. Like, I've been seeing like different perspectives about this, and how some people are like, oh, they're like on our side, and they're talking about how people won't listen to the conspiracy theories. And I'm like, how did y'all get the, what movie were you watching that you drew that conclusion? Because all I was seeing was them making fun of us. They were basically saying that the people who don't believe the science, the people who don't, the main characters were not us. I can totally understand how you feel like they're us, but those main characters was Fauci and those people, okay? I need you to rethink that and then go rewatch that, because that they were not us. And I understand the frustration behind them saying like, we're gonna die and all of this is happening and nobody's listening, because that's how we feel, right? I know, but while I'm sitting here right now, literally, this ad just pops up on my Netflix, Death to 2021. Didn't they have a Death to 2020 and now we have a Death to 2021? Like, what are y'all leading us up into? And that looks, the cover of that looks like the cover of the movie that was in, that they were promoting in the middle of Don't Look Up. Yo, Netflix is playing, and listen, okay, what was I saying? This is just a full rant. I didn't write down anything about this. I just finished watching it, so I'm just like, but you know, a lot of it I watched yesterday and fell asleep on it. I watched it. I know a lot of people will think like I watched it from like a, you know, like me perspective, or like conspiracy theory and stuff, but I wasn't. I sat there and really just watched it just to see what they were saying, and in no way did I feel like they were, you know, if you replace the word comet with, they are literally talking about that. The movie is about the people that don't believe in the pandemic, and they are going to argue that it's about climate change. Y'all already know how I feel about climate change though, and like their whole, there's not enough space on earth for all of us. And but anyway, let's dive into these chaotic thoughts that I had about this movie, because they're all over the place. Just bear with me, okay? And if there's anything that you noticed that I didn't mention, just comment down below and we can chat about it, because I hated this movie so much. I really wasn't paying that much attention to all the details because it really was stressing me out. I'm gonna hit this blunt one more time. I'm gonna sip this cup one more time. I'm gonna take this shot one more time. It's like so. Clearly, the president in this movie was Trump. Like, come on. And the way her son was like you know, overdoing it and flirting with her and like giving her compliments was basically them throwing jabs at Trump and his daughter, but then also making him act like Donald Trump Jr. Come on. Like, that was so obvious, like from jump. That old rich guy that was on like stage, like doing like the TED Talk type thing with the kids with the phones, and the little girl tried to ask him a question and he was like, no. And then backstage she was like, I love you so much. I think he was like a mashup between Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. He had a lot of both of their characteristics and stuff. And I could even see like a little bit of the Asperger's, like Elon. So like, I feel like it was just a mix of like powerful techie men that, like, you know, and they were just like, here, we're gonna give that main character, whatever. The scientist man, Leonardo DiCaprio, and he looks terrible in this movie, but he was blowing mine. Yeah, he was clearly Fauci. And not even saying that like everybody is someone, but like you just keep in mind that they're just kind of mirroring what we've seen in politics on our own TV screens, you know? The newscasters are clearly Fox News. Like, come on, like, they're sitting up there, like, it's just so many jabs that they were throwing that it was hilarious. And then they have the don't look up hats, like the MAGA hats, like, it was so much. And again, I'm not into politics. I really don't care. Both sides, neither one of them are for us. And I'll say that 1,000 times, no matter how many people want to act like I'm a right-wing nut or something like that when I don't vote. Like, from the beginning, I have talked equal shit about both sides, and I will continue to do so. And it's still true that the Cheeto was a better president than the sleepy one, but it's also true that neither of them are great people, so the whole Q movement is what they lost me. But then, like, the whole, like, I don't even know what the other side is doing at this point. They're just like remixing everything. Like, they're just making stuff up as they go. So whatever their movement is over there, they lost me too. I'm just here in my own world. With that being said, I didn't watch this movie with any political standpoint. I didn't even watch it from a conspiracy standpoint because there was no conspiracy in it. They were just flat out showing you what the government be doing, and it doesn't matter who the president in the movie was supposed to be because they all are the same thing. Two wings on the same bird, okay? They were at the White House charging the guests for snacks. There was pictures of Saturn everywhere. I didn't see any other planets but Saturn. Like, there was a whole bunch of stuff going on, like, we look into space, we study stars, but here's Saturn. Come on, like, the Saturn warship be right in your faces. Why is Jonah Hill's character throwing up devil horns every 5 seconds? Ariana Grande is singing her little song at the end and she's throwing up the 666. Like, and this is a movie, so this isn't live. This isn't, oh, this is anything they left in this movie was supposed to be in the movie. So this is not even up for debate. Jennifer Lawrence's hair was so ugly. Like, I just had to say it. Like, she was blowing mine. Like, she was just, but them throwing in the part with her eating the baby and drinking baby blood and doing all that stuff, like, come on, now y'all trying to do, like, they're going really hard right now to discredit Pizzagate. Like, they're going really hard. Like, y'all moving real suspicious. Like, if y'all didn't do it, if that wasn't really a thing, then just move on. Like, there's so many other, like, there's been so many theories that have, like, crossed the, like, you know, the internet, that have done so many things, right? Like, I've seen people go crazy over a lot of things. Why this one they're going so hard to debunk? And I'm tired. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired of them with this space thing, because at the end of the movie, when the president runs out and leaves her son, she left her son and gonna call the scientists and say, oh, we got room for you, and if you want to bring one more person, you know, you can bring Bree or your wife. He's like, no, you just have fun with Jason. She's like, Jason, you forgot to go get your son? That's really how these people are. Like, y'all think that these people be losing people, and, you know, people's kids die from brain tumors, and then the next day they on live TV crying about it, but then they taking Christmas pictures with another family, and then they're not grieving. they don't care about, these kids are business transactions. They are tax write-offs at this point. But whatever. She literally invited him and said, we have a ship. It's always a ship telling you they can't really go to space. And when the end of the world does happen, I feel like it's gonna be like some major floods, like some type of like tsunami stuff, like things caving in on themselves, like Mother Nature just crumbling type of thing. Like, show us, like, this is what y'all get because y'all don't respect me. I feel like that's what's gonna happen. I don't think any other force is coming from space and all these other alien things. The aliens are already here, and a lot of them are underwater, and I'm gonna keep saying this because we don't know what's in the ocean, and that's terrifying. We don't know what's in space because nobody knows what's out there. And I do believe, like, there's a solar system. I feel like there's a version of space that does exist, but it's not the way they taught us. Like, I feel like the space they taught us about is underwater, but there are stars, there are planets, there's stuff. I'm not like, don't go there, because y'all be trying to drag it. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But I do think that a lot of things that we're taught is inverted, so whatever. But yeah, I think this whole movie was like a subliminal for and for New World Order and the Great Reset. So argue with who y'all want to argue with. Starting January 1st, we are about to be living in a whole nother world. My job is requiring the little thing or whatever, but I'm not doing that, so who knows what the next step in this journey for me will be. But it's not that. I just feel like this movie is meant to, like, cause more divide. That's all the left does, is divide us all the time. Like, that's literally BLM, the protests, the defund this, and the labels, and they make it seem like they're making things better when they're really just setting us back. Like, shut up, nobody cares. The movie had so much bad energy. Like, it was just like weird negative energy attached. There was like these weird high-pitched sounds I'm hearing. 30 minutes in, I was feeling like this weird down feeling, like just like and it was making me sleepy and just like weird and sick feeling, and I fell asleep 3 times watching it. Kept rewinding, kept getting sleepy around the same part. Weird and sickly feeling. And then I stopped watching it. I put on The Good Witch and my vibes came right back up. I'm sitting here rolling up, talking, posting on Instagram, try to turn on the movie again, start feeling and I'm like, maybe because I smoked, but come on, y'all besties, that's all I do. So like there was just no reason. Like, all the signs were just going to like this movie, right? So then today I try to watch again. I get to the 1 hour 18-minute mark, whatever it is, and it goes from like her talking to her parents to like them showing like this infomercial, and like there's like these high-pitched sounds, and like this time it's not something I really felt first. I heard it first, and it like kind of like sent like that kind of feeling down, and then like my chest, like my heart started beating really fast. Like, it was just weird, like this weird feeling. I didn't like it. And sometimes I get sensory overloads, and like I get really like panicked from like feeling too much at like one time. I don't really like to be touched, don't like too many noises happening at one time. Like, it really, like I'll start to spaz. Like, I just don't like it, and it was making me really angry, but like not like outwardly angry, but like in my head, like in my subconscious, I felt myself trying, like how I would normally feel when something invades my space like that, where I feel weird, is how I was starting to feel just watching a movie. So I'm like, okay, this is really weird. It starts like really screeching. It's like a dog whistle almost, and I feel like it's gonna trigger people to like lose their minds and that crazy. It's like the 5G towers. So I put on Instagram, like, did anybody else hear this? And let's go see now, because it's been up for a little while. We can check, because I put up like a little poll. So I asked, did you guys hear the frequency change? 80% said yes and 20% said no. It's only been up for like a little bit over an hour, so I don't know. You guys go back to the movie right now, go to that point, 1 hour 18 minutes, watch that whole part until that little infomercial, and watch the infomercial and let me know if you hear it. There's other parts in the movie where this happens, but I can't, that's the only one where I actually stopped to take the time to, and I'm not rewatching this movie ever, so I'm not rewatching it to find out where the other timestamps are. But it happens throughout the movie where the mood, like, and the frequency just changes. Be careful with these things that you guys, I actually don't, I don't know why, why would I tell you to go back and listen to it? If you didn't already watch the movie, don't go searching for it just to hear that. But if you already watched it, then you're fine, whatever, then, you know. But if something told you not to watch it, because it was one of those things where I was uneasy about it all day. I was just like, I don't want to watch it. And then I watched it, and I still went against my better, you know, I went against my better judgment. So, and it's crazy, like, I used to watch horror movies, all types of disaster movies and stuff like that growing up, like, over and over. Like, that was like, I think that's why, like, I was so dark. Like, I have a good balance of like my light and dark energy. One day I could be Eve, one day I could be Lilith, and you just don't know, right? But there was a point in my life, like especially high school, it was like a lot of like dark energy, and I wasn't a mean person or like nasty to people or anything like that. It was just like dark energy within myself. Like, I was very isolated and cold, and like, you know, just, and the music I was listening to and the frequencies I was letting in just weren't good. I started watching horror movies very young too, like literally about like 9 years old. I was watching Nightmare on Elm Street, just like letting all these energies and frequencies into my vessel way too soon, like in life, and I became very dark. Like, I have Beetlejuice tattooed on my arm. I was going to get like a whole horror sleeve full of like these characters, and I'm like, I'm so glad I woke up before I really went all out. Like, if I would have just got a whole horror sleeve just to get it, just for the look of it, because it was going to be gory and weird, like, why do I want that on my body? And now that I'm like in this space that I'm in now, I absolutely do not want that on my body, and I'm glad that I didn't. Like, so I know that those thoughts weren't my own, like, and that's scary to me, that like I let frequencies in music and things that I was watching and all of these demonic entities like literally enter my life. And this was before. This was not me reading tarot. This wasn't me touching crystals. This wasn't me burning my sage and minding my business in the morning. Like, that wasn't even that version of me. This was me in high school, me going to school every day, being a perfect student, Jehovah's Witness family. Like, that's when I was getting attacked left and right. So everybody in my comments is always telling me, oh, stop touching that stuff, you're gonna get attacked and all that. Bro, I am protected, I'm straight, I'm good. I have experienced worry about yourself. If you got attacked, then you was in something you wasn't supposed to be in, because the only time I was getting attacked by anything was when I was in stuff that I wasn't supposed to be in, listening to music I wasn't supposed to be listening to, watching things I wasn't supposed to be watching, hanging out with people I wasn't supposed to be hanging out with. Like, I just want y'all to be aware of the things that you're digesting. One thing they do have right though is to turn off that news. Just cut it off. Just stop. And it's funny, like, people send me things every day. People tag me in things. I don't watch the news. I don't follow any news pages, any blogs, anything that I post on my page that like is like seems like news related. It's because it passed me, like it came to me and I felt like I needed to post it. I don't search for news. I don't look for the next thing. Like, literally I get downloads or things get placed on my lap where I need to share them. Like, I really need people to understand that my life is not engulfed in this stuff. I spend a percentage of my time on the internet because that's where I work and, you know, stuff like that, but I don't spend all of my time worrying about conspiracy or what's going on in the world or how the world's gonna end, because we're all going to die someday. Okay, all of us, everybody. That is we go watch my end time video. You are born and then you die. That's it. It's not depressing, it's not sad, it's not scary, it's not anything but the truth. These are meat suits, okay? You should value your meat suit. Value it because it's something, it's yours, it's a part of you, but don't put more value on it over your soul. Yeah, this was just a really quick rant. I just had to get this off my chest that I really hated that movie, and I just wanted to express that and talk about that real quick. So I'm sorry if you expected this to be longer, or like you wanted like some drawn out breakdown of the movie because you weren't getting it, because it wasn't worth breaking down, because there was nothing to break down, because it was satire and it was stupid. But yeah, I guess subscribe if you're not subscribed. Like this video or don't. And I will see y'all in my next video.